Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Train to Build 6. This is the October 2025 roadmap, and we'll be going through it. I'll be going through it and reacting to it. I've already read through it, so yeah, I already know it's coming. We'll skip the TLDR. We've got some pretty good screenshots from the community, from the core routes. I think what's my probable favorite? I think that one's my probable favorite of the iced tea. So yeah, we've got the free starter pack that's only available until November 11th on PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, and Epic. So you might as well pick it up while you can if you haven't got it yet, since it is free. So yeah, we've got the next route, which is called the Frankenbahn Stuttgart to Heilbronn from Dovetail Games. So it's going to be 50 kilometers long. It's only going to be the second route in the entire game set in the 2000s. Let's see. So there's going to be two new methods of rolling stock. The DBBR 140 electric locomotive, which does look pretty good, I must say. Old-fashioned tap changer locomotive. Then we also get the Wittenberger Sturwagen cab car, which also looks good. In my opinion, I think it looks like the DBBR 628 DMU. It's probably just me, though. Also has a pretty neat looking interior. Probably another tap changer one. Early progress. On layers, blah, blah, blah. Then New York to Stamford, which I'm not that interested in. There's literally no new information apart from the fact that we're going to get this M8 unit. And it looks as though we might have Sandpatch grade layers and Harlem line layers. So yeah, and then those are the only two Dovetail Games add-ons in the roadmap. Now it's all third-party stuff from now on. Next up, we have Birmingham to Crew from All Aboard Studios. They shared a Loco Lowdown video yesterday, and there's also a dedicated article if you want to go check that out. This route looks pretty damn good. So yeah, total of 522 drivable services and more than 2,000 services in total. So yeah, the unit that's going to be included is the Class 350, recycled from West Coast Mainline South, albeit in all three different variants. The Stroke 1, Stroke 2, and Stroke 3. Layered content will come in, among which Class 390 Pendolino off of West Coast Mainline South, the Class 220 Voyager off of the Riviera line, the West Midlands Rail and Cross Country Turbo Star off of Birmingham Cross City, the Classes 150 and 153 off of Cardiff City Network, and the Birmingham and the West Midlands Rail Class 323. Actually, wait a minute. That's a 323 over there, and it's in northern colours. My apologies. It looks as though we might have the northern 323 handling stuff. We'll also have Class 66 operated intermodal trains plus HKA and FKA wagon layers. So yeah, that will require Cargo Line Volume 3. That's one reason I got Cargo Line Volume 3 yesterday, because I'll need it for freight to appear on this route. Rail Tours, Class 86, Class 87 Flying Scotsman, and the Spirit of Steam LMS Jubilee, which is quite good. Another place to operate the Class 86 in timetable mode. This route will be available for PC and Generation 9 platforms only, which, yeah, like Xbox Series X, PS5, Epic, and Steam only. Then we've also got the Class 805 from All Aboard Studios. So we've got layout has been amended. Subtle layout changes. Yeah, it's just text. We haven't got any pictures yet, so yeah, if you want to read this, just pause the video. Next up, it's the Santa Fe gameplay pack from High Iron Simulations. This one I've been looking forward to because we've been in need of some good American freight in this game. So yeah, this one has been teased for so long that it's not even funny. More than 250 timetable services, 5 scenarios included. Services are closely based on actual Santa Fe freight schedules of the era. Union Pacific action on Cajon Pass will be represented using UP equipment from Sherman Hill. So if Sherman Hill was actually given away at the start of this year. So if people don't have Sherman Hill, I believe it is if you're on Steam, I believe it is currently on sale for like 80% off. So if you want that as a layer, yeah, you can. Yeah. I actually did a live stream of Cajon Pass recently and actually enjoyed the heck out of it. So this is going to be good. I have a distinct feeling. Also, funny number. Sorry, I couldn't bother pointing it out. Right, next up. New announcement. It's the Class 171 and 377-3 gameplay pack from Rivet Games. The Class 171 will be included in Stroke 7 and Stroke 8 versions in Southern colors, and the Class 37-3 will be in Southern colors. These will accompany a new timetable for East Coast Way. Using the December 2017 to May 2018 working timetable, it will add Gatwick Express and Thameslink AI to Brighton, as well as the London to Eastbourne Southern services playable between Lewes and Eastbourne, which were missing from the original timetable. Which is great, because East Coastway has been in need of some good love. I haven't got it myself, but I have heard good things about it, so I might pick it up, who knows. Class 171 is a variant of the 170 Turbo Star. The primary difference is the fitting of a Delner coupler rather than the usual BSI coupler for emergency coupling to Southern's EMU fleet. Can we see that? Oh, yeah, we can. It's actually cool. So these things will be able to couple to the Class 373 in the event of an emergency. 377. 373 is a Eurostar. That's actually cool. I imagine that'll be included in one of the scenarios. The 2-car 171-7 and the 4-car 171-8 will be included. The train has audio improvements which will be backported into the Cross City and Fife Circle 170s, which is awesome. 28 of them were transferred to Southern, originally built as 375-3s. So yeah, we finally get the older headlight clusters for the 377 after, what is it, 4 years? That's really good. I really hope these 377s layer onto Brighton Main Line. That would be so cool. Older headlight clusters, the interior, which is 2+2 seating with first class only at one end. Number of cars is 3 instead of 4. These will mostly operate Seaford services, in addition to a few roaming sets working with the 377-4s. If the player owns the Class 313 add-on, which is a separate add-on for this route, they'll substitute randomly for the 377-3. Rivet Games are also investigating any further changes to the East Coastway route alongside this pack. So wait a minute, Rivet Games might actually change this route? Okay, that's new. Next up, it's Liberec to Starapaka from Vector Simulations. Says 80 kilometers. It's 80 kilometers long, which is decent, and the Class 843 and 750 in CD, or Czech Federal Railways colors. I don't remember what CD stands for. I don't speak Czech. That checks out, though. Sorry, I had to make that pun. So yeah. Many older stations in the Czech Republic have group signals. One signal controls multiple tracks. If a train is departing from this signal, then the dispatcher needs to call that train and say the train can depart. So we'll have to call the dispatcher before leaving some stations. Okay, here's the Class 750, which is the freight locomotive that we're getting. It is also nicknamed Googles, which is appropriate because like the windows stick out above the front of the train. It's so weird. One of those fascinating old Soviet era designs, which I find fascinating. We've included some scenarios where you will need banking engines at the end of your train. The banking system includes a simulated driver at the banking locomotive, so you won't be controlling the train directly. Instead, you will be using audible signals with locomotive horn or whistle to tell the banking driver if you need to be pushed. Those drivers also try to respect the speed limit, so they should also stop pushing if you will need to brake. That's actually sick! So we get banking, but a completely new form of banking. Safety systems, so we get the LVZ and LS90 safety systems. I don't know how those work, just to put that on the record. The route, it doesn't use any code transmission systems, whatever those are. We have also implemented outside forces, which can interfere with the older LVZ even if there isn't any code transmitted. So don't be surprised when a red light on the repeater will flash for a second when you're driving near high voltage power lines. Man, these developers are getting good. Holy crap. This route will come with 7 scenarios, varying from easy to really demanding. You will need to operate radios, couple trains together at Liberec Yard, encounter multiple signaling and level crossing failures, and even drive a diverted container train. Yeah. No. We haven't got to that bit yet. And you can even find some historic and technical landmarks. Wow! That's beautiful. Wow. That's gorgeous. So here are all the liveries we get for the Class 750, ranging from grey to red and yellow. And here are the liveries we get for the Class 843, 3 different variants of two-tone blue and white, and 2 different variants of, I want to say maroon and cream, but I might be wrong. Who knows? I'm not too... I will get this route, but I have no idea how Czech railways work, man. I'm just getting it for the challenge. Alright. Next up, it's the Portuguese route, Lisbon to Setúbal from Virtua via 360. So... 54 kilometers long, which is a bit short, but at least it's longer than S-Bahn Central Schweiz, let's just say. So we'll have the Series 3500 electric multiple unit. Here's a new screenshot, and that's literally all. We get our first look at the Iberian broad gauge. This will be the first Iberian broad gauge route in TSW, the first broad gauge route in the game. So yeah, that will top off. So most of them are standard gauge. We do have a couple of meter gauge Swiss routes thanks to Rivet Games. We'll have one Iberian broad gauge thanks to this, and then one 3-foot 6-inch gauge route thanks to one special developer, which we'll be getting to later. And here we are. Here is the Tadami line from Union Workshop. This is the route I've been most looking forward to because, as I never fail to advertise on my channel, I've lived in Japan for 11 years and know the railways pretty decently well. So yeah, so let's have a look at this picture. First off, this is obviously coming off of like a passenger bridge. So, like the balustrades, the stairs, the windows, everything feels accurate. These little white, yellow lines on the floor yet are perfectly accurate. Like the textures and everything are spot on. The what is it? The passenger sign looks pretty good. So the Iwashido Tetsudo. Then we've got Tadami line here, and then Iwashido Tetsudo can also come off of platform 4. So yeah, we also, you can see in this shot the Kiha 40 in the Japan Rail orange livery, and then on the right you can see it in the local white and two-tone green livery. This kanji probably means that this unit is not in service and is going to the depot. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it is. And then this one is heading toward Aizu something. I don't know which station that is, but yeah, which particular Aizu station it is. Our first shots of the interior. Okay, a couple of things to point out here. we'll be able to we'll be able to couple trains together and walk through the gangways between the trains, because this is one unit and this over here is another unit, and then there's a cab here, walk through. That's pretty cool in itself. This little sign here, I'm not entirely, what is that? I'm going to have to, I'm not entirely sure what that is. A bit embarrassing, but yeah. Then we've also got a little passenger handhold. We've got like the proper kanji for showing that this is a driver's cab area. And like the colors and everything are so good. The Kiha 40s, blah blah blah. We've got some history on them. We've also got our first cab look. So we've got like circuit breaker switches on the side. We've got reverser. No, that's reverser, throttle, brake, and it looks as though we don't have a brake handle inserted, so it looks as though we might have to insert the brake handle in order to drive. We've also got accurate gauges, ATS gauge, telephone, emergency brake, timed. Wait a minute, we've got a proper written timetable up here. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. These things aren't particularly powerful, only 220 horsepower. Here's another interior shot, which seems pretty accurate. These seats look pretty spot on. Luggage stuff. We've got fans because these older trains weren't fitted with air conditioning back in the day, which I can tell you, in like 38-degree heat, a fan is just not enough. At the height of Japanese summer, those fans are just not enough. We've got the appropriate Japanese handholds. We've got coat hooks, everything is just spot on. This is the amount of detail that I was expecting from this add-on, and Union Workshop are delivering in spadefuls. So yeah, over here we've got priority seating for like disabled people, seniors, etc. We've got some more handholds. We've also got a emergency stop button. We've also got a picture of the Tadami line in real life with the caption "Let's go Tohoku," which is actually the name of one of the scenarios on what was it? The Tohoku high speed and mainline route back in the Train Sim Classic days. Are we getting that route? Are we getting a bullet train? Because that route is the only one to include a Japanese bullet train in the entirety of Train Sim Classic. So, yeah. Next up. Holy crap. The Class 90 comes to TSW. This thing has been requested probably the most of any train in this game other than the 220 and the Class 91. And it's by Alan Thompson Simulation. Yes! Woohoo! This is so good. It looks as though we will be getting the 90 in the DB cargo livery. I must say, I've never seen one of these in real life, but the modelling looks pretty much spot on. This thing looks stupendous. That's a day one purchase. Because we've been in need of a modern era UK freight locomotive that isn't the Class 66. And Alan Thompson are delivering. Looks as though we do get some interior shots. I think that's the throttle. Everything is like weathered and textured so well. Wait a minute, these things can haul passenger trains at 110 miles an hour. I didn't know that. Container freight can be up to 75 miles an hour. It's powered by whatever that is. It's a modernized successor to the Class 87. I already love the 87, so I know this is going to be good. We've got a pantograph shot, which does look pretty damn good. This first Class 90 DLC, that wording is implying we will get other Class 90 DLCs. Will we get a Freightliner livery? Will there be like you get it. We might even get this thing like direct rail services livery. Who knows? Next up, it's TSG, back again for their next expert level locomotive. This is the DBBR 145. It will feature a DB and RBH livery and new expert level features such as manual brake hose operation with working angle cocks. So we'll get to couple trains together well. We'll get new T3000E container wagons and additional content on Bahnstrecke Leipzig to Dresden. I'm not getting this. I know it's an expert level locomotive and I do love me the Expert 101. This is... the only reason I'm not getting it is because it's for Leipzig to Dresden, and that is a route I've sworn never to get. So yeah, we've already had this shot. There's the T3000 container wagon. There's the 145. Yeah, we've already had both of these shots in the previous roadmap. Next up, it's the BR420. Shared first work in progress screenshots back in August. This has confirmed some extra information. Contained 5 versions, 8th series Munich variant and 6th series Frankfurt version. That's for Munich to Augsburg and Frankfurt S-Bahn respectively. We added an orange grey livery with changed cab and different interiors. This variant will also be split into 3 separate trains with some differences. One Frankfurt for AI use on Link Rheinstrecke, which we already knew about. The team is working on additional gameplay, including a new timetable from Munich to Augsburg, and it will support the upcoming Stuttgart to Heilbronn route. So yeah, the BR420 will support Frankfurt S-Bahn, Stuttgart Heilbronn, Munich to Augsburg, Link Rheinstrecke. Yeah, it's a bunch of routes that this thing will layer on. If you're a fan of German content, I would suggest picking it up. Next up, it's Crew to Preston from Just Trains, which I am looking forward to. This is a good looking route. Next development update focuses on the 2 biggest stations on the West Coast Main Line between Crewe and Preston, namely Warrington Bank Quay and Wigan North Western. Both stations where I have stopped in a Pendolino in real life. I didn't have too good a look at it at the stations at the time, I'm sad to say, but Warrington Bank Quay looks pretty dang good. Wow. Then, one of the more common types of freight train are the merry-go-round coal workings, with trains featuring up to 45 HAA hopper wagons, shuffling constantly between the pit and power station. These trains will not only be seen in the platforms at Bank Quay, but also utilising the line to Fiddler's Ferry power station, which passes directly below the station itself. Outside of coal trains, a wide variety of other freight is also seen. Nice. Yeah, the station area is dominated and overlooked by the soap factory. Oh, so that's a soap factory? Interesting. Where is it? Which we have recreated in full detail. Sadly, we have not been able to include the accompanying aroma. Fair play, developers. Wigan Northwestern, which is this one here, is located 11 miles down the line and 15 miles south of Preston. This station is served by most of the express passenger services. There's still possible to see those passing through at high speed. Curves at both ends of the station. Also served by local services to and from Liverpool via St Helens, with 2 of these continuing north to Blackpool, meaning an extended run along the WCML with a DMU is feasible. Once again, a good amount of freight passes Northwestern Station, with the notable inclusion being 4 Sierra 57 Freightliner, which changes from a 47/3 to electric traction here. Ooh. We'll be providing more detail in further updates, with both Warrington Opley and Wigan Springs Branch Depot included and heavily featured. Nice. Next up is another Just Trains add-on, their first gameplay pack, the Transport for Wales Class 142 Pacer. They've also provided a time-lapse of all the goings-on at Cardiff Central. You won't hear any of the audio from this, so... yeah. It's just... yeah, you won't hear any of the audio from this because I've turned that off. Yeah, it's 4 minutes and 50 seconds, so... looks as though we've got Pacer, we've got a 166... there goes a Pacer. The 150 over there. There goes a Pacer. There comes another Pacer. Double header this time. My goodness, there's so many Pacers knocking around. This is only 2019. This is only 6 years ago. There goes the 166. Wait a minute. Whoa, 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 whoa. JT. That is a rail tool service utilizing the Mark IIFs off of the Class 86 add-on. There's Pacer again over there. Hang on, I'll actually speed this up because... Hang on, is there anything interesting coming in and out? Wait a minute, was that freight? Yeah, it was. It was a... That was Cargo Line Volume 1 freight right there. Yeah, there's not really anything interesting in this shot. There are a couple of Easter eggs, if you know where to look. But it's mostly Pacers. Timetable set in 2019. Service pattern was quite different compared to it is now. Instead of trains going from Corton to Penarth, the trains from Corton went to Radir, a journey much quicker by foot as it's a U-shape. The Penarth trains instead go to Bargoed and Rimini instead of Corton, and I don't know how. And I'm not a person who knows how to pronounce Welsh stuff. Good about to look forward to, including Class 802s, 150s, 16... Surely they mean 166s. Why does it say 165s? Is that one thing Grump Dog is including with the Great West Express remaster that he hasn't announced yet? Class 165s. HST Castle sets for GWR traffic, 170s, and the once-a-day Class 220. Once. And for the longer distance transport for Wales services, you have A Class 150s in their X Arriva Trains Wales guys. Class 142s run most of the Valley Line diagrams, but in 2019, Transport for Wales had a couple of Class 37 diagrams with Mark IIFs. So that isn't a rail tour that I saw. That's actually a Transport for Wales service. You'll be able to drive up to Heath High Level. That's actually sick. You'll be able to drive most of these diagrams with 150, 153s, both of which are in their X Arriva Trains Wales liveries. So here we go. Here's the Class 153 in one of her Arriva Trains Wales liveries. That looks so good. And then we also have the Class 150 in revised X Arriva Trains Wales livery, which you can see right here. Nice. Next up, it's the HST Farewell Tour pack from Grump Dog Games. Infamous for his work on the West Somerset Railway and upcoming GWE remaster, he's now got his sights on a new add-on. Yep. So yeah, what we will get, we'll get quite a few new liveries for the Class 43. 7 iconic HST powercar designs, along with 2 Mark 1 HST barrier coach designs. So yeah, we are getting a barrier coach in this pack. We'll get 43 002 Sir Kenneth Grange in BR blue and yellow with the nameplate. We'll get 43093 Old Oak Common in GWR green with OOC vinyl and nameplate. We'll get 43185 Great Western in Intercity Swallow livery with a nameplate. 43187 and 188 Welshman in GWR green with a white dragon vinyl. 43188 Welshman in GWR green with a yellow dragon vinyl. And then GWR green with vinyl GWR logos and GWR green unbranded, with the last 2 being just generic. So here we go. Here is Sir Kenneth Grange. Dang. And heading over to the iconic brick bridge in Maidenhead. 2 legends. Absolute legends. Look at that livery on Sir Kenneth Grange. As I never fail to point out, I have seen Sir Kenneth Grange in real life at the National Railway Museum, and this is probably my favourite HST of all time, so to finally get him in TSW is stupendous. Here we go. Here's a better shot of Sir Kenneth Grange, alongside the Intercity Swallow, named Great Western. Oh man, side by side. Wow. Let's see, ooh, Hazen Harlington. station, which is as far as we'll be able to drive the Heathrow Express stuff that we'll be getting. Looks pretty dang good. The power cars sub into all existing GWR HST services across TSW, both for the player and AI. Some extra unique services are included for Great West Express Remaster and Riviera Line to make use of the power cars and Mark 1 HST barrier coaches. So we could have, like, HST, the Intercity Swallow HST show up on West Somerset, Fife Circle, ScotRail Express, Birmingham Cross City. The list goes on. That's actually incredible. Here's a picture of Reading, and it looks as though we have some EMT 158s, presumably representing Southwestern Railway services. We've got 166, 220 for the Reading to Manchester, which is a regular cross-country service, GWI HST, and then another 166. Yeah, this is coming out before the end of this year. Here's Paddington. That's beautiful. This will probably become one of my more played routes now. So yeah, this is coming out before the end of this year. Fingers crossed we'll get it pretty soon. So we've got some patches. We've got some upcoming updates. Added in-game guidance when train faults occur. Added P&B and AWS to German and UK temporary speed restrictions. Adding train faults... fixing train faults occurring despite the setting being disabled, fixing TSRs appearing the wrong way around, fixing TSRs appearing incorrectly on routes that do not have them implemented, fixing mixing C textures at Dulwich on the Riviera Line, fixing emergency brakes being applied when loading a save on the Class 220, reduced frequency of diesel engine stall faults on the Class 220, adding brake apply and computer hum audio on the BR294, fixing an issue where the announcements are stopping playing on the Morristown line, fixing air brake audio to the multi-level cab cars, fixing a crash occurring when loading a service on the ALP 45DP, and various improvements to station lighting passengers and clipping across all core routes. Okay, that's good. We'll also be adding in the next couple weeks additional compatible content layers. We're aware of a few cases where livery layers are appearing ahead of plan, one example being the Class 220 on the Manchester Airport commuter, which is something that Train Sim Society already pointed out. But it's only on PC. We're still working with the team to deliver these updates to their expected quality. The ATS team are continuing to work on these updates for full release. If you see the layers appearing, please understand this is not a full experience. Epic Games compatible content. 17 further add-ons will be arriving next week on October 14th. All remaining content coming at a later date. The 17 add-ons will be these, if you're interested. Unbranded Caltrain content. Due to our licensing agreement with Caltrain expiring, we unfortunately had to remove the Caltrain license add-ons from our store pages. Our teams work with new licensors all the time. Can result in us needing to make changes to how we distribute and sell affected content. Next week, on October 16th, we'll be releasing unbranded versions of the following add-ons. So you'll be able to download the unbranded versions for free on the same platform and account and enjoy them in Trains of World 6. This relates to Peninsula Corridor, San Francisco to San Jose, the MP36PH-3C Baby Bullet, and the MP15DC Diesel Switcher. These add-ons will also return to store pages in their unbranded form if you're looking to get them for the first time. That's very good, because those are the only 3 add-ons that didn't transfer over to TSW6 for me. PC editor improvements, my manager support, new October 25 mastery posters, Trains of World API support. Trains of World is available on GeForce Now. Brand new game announcement coming next week on October 15th. And then here's like roadmap. So yeah, an absolutely stonked roadmap. I'm so excited for a lot of the stuff in here. The Class 90 is something that I was not expecting the developers to ever add into the game. I'm seriously considering picking up the Armstrong Powerhouse Freightliner Class 90 for Train Sim Classic. But now that we're getting this, holy, like, yes. And then also Tadami, I'm so looking forward to that, man. This just got me even more hyped. Like, yeah, there's so much stuff in here which looks absolutely stupendous. Please let me know down in the comments what you think is the add-on that you are most looking forward to. Here's the full list of stuff that's coming, and I will see you all in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye!